Hello, what is up, everybody? Welcome into this Tuesday edition of the Pack-A-Day podcast here on YouTube. I'm your host, Andy Herman. I'm going to be going over my best and worst grades for the Packers offense this week, coming off a very nice victory against the Houston Texans, as I do every single week. The grades will be up on Packer Report, donning the new swag today from Ross Uglum. Ross, appreciate the new swag and the new sweatshirt here, but before I get into that, one of the reasons I'm wearing this today is because I'm very excited to announce that besides getting the video on YouTube every single morning through the Pack-A-Day podcast YouTube channel, the videos are now going to be up every single day on Packer Report as well. If you haven't checked out Packer Report, that's where you can get all my grades every single week. I do a recap the morning following a game, and now these videos are going to be posted there every morning as well. Really great people like Mark Eckel, Dusty Evely, Eli Berkovitz, Ross Uglum, Jacob Westendorf, Jacob Morley, Zach Jacobson, and I'm forgetting people, which I'm going to feel absolutely horrible about, but it's a really tremendous site. Make sure to support some really great Packers writers. And now, again, you can check this video there every single day as well. And again, you can get my grades every week there. Full grades, offense and defense, every player graded on every single play, every week, tabulated through the course of the season. So make sure to check that out. We are very, very lucky here at the Pack-A-Day podcast to have such great relationships. You can find the audio version of the podcast every day on She Said TV, and now you can find the video version on Packer Report as well. So if you haven't checked out those sites, I'm sure you have, Packer Report and She Said TV, make sure to do so. But besides here on the YouTube channel and besides wherever you get your favorite podcasts, you can always find the audio on She Said TV and always find the video on Packer Report. But let me jump into my grades, my top 3 graded players from the Packers game against the Houston Texans. Number 1 certainly is not going to be a surprise to absolutely anybody, and that, of course, is number 17, Davonte Adams, Tay, wide receiver 1, top 5 wide receiver in the league, should be a future All-Pro, just one of the greatest wide receivers that I've had the ability to watch in my time in Green Bay. And a lot of it is due to what he does right at the line of scrimmage, and he proved that again against the Houston Texans. His release game is second to absolutely none. What he did on a couple of these routes to get corners turned around, that one crossing route that you saw, he basically gets the corner going right. The corner is all over the place, basically doing almost like a 360 to try to get back and cover Adams. By that point, it is long gone. He is wide open through over the course of the middle of the field. Rodgers hits him in stride. He's able to pick up a bunch of yards on the play. The play where Rodgers hits him down the sideline on 3rd down, flashes late hands, contested catch situation, comes down with it with ease. Even his big play down the field on a touchdown, if you watch that, he's streaking upfield. If Rodgers leads him, he gets an easy touchdown. He has to kind of turn around and kind of catch it off balance a little bit, then basically get rebalanced, cut back inside, score a touchdown. Just everything he did in this game, even the little touchdown to the side early in the game, is just such a ridiculous play. Kind of cuts like he's going inside, just gets the corner turned around again, cuts back outside, easy touchdown for Aaron Rodgers. Just everything he did in this game, very, very few negative plays. I think one of the only negative plays I thought on the little jet sweep that he did right before he caught the first touchdown. I thought he had a chance to cut that inside and maybe score on that play. I would have had one less reception then, so it worked out in the end. But I thought that he had an opportunity to cut it inside. Instead, he kind of tried to bounce it outside, and it just wasn't there. But just very, very few negative plays, and easily my highest graded player in this game, Davonte Adams, which again, I don't think is going to be a shock to anyone. My second highest rated player was Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is always a little bit interesting because I don't think this was a 1A performance, grade A, performance by Aaron Rodgers. I thought he missed some throws, even the one that, a couple that I just mentioned, the deep throw to Davonte Adams, just a tad behind him, the throw to Robert Tonyan down the sideline. Again, he leads him a little bit too far. If he hits him in stride, I don't think Tonyan scores a touchdown. I think the safety has the angle, but they get points on that play. They probably get down to like the 30, 25 yard line where they're in basically easy Mason Crosby field goal range at worst. Instead, they ended up having to punt on that drive, in part due to Rodgers not really getting a good ball to Robert Tonyan. He kind of faded away on it. There was the play action pass to Davonte Adams where he just missed it well behind Adams. Just some plays like that were a little bit uncharacteristic. He had a couple of those fadeaway passes where he wasn't kind of coming forward on the balls of his feet and kind of throwing the ball, with the velocity and just the, timing and effort that he has the ability to do. He had clean pockets on the play, but it's always very difficult to put grades to this sometimes, and I fully support the grade. Obviously, I'm the one that's putting the grade on it, but with Aaron Rodgers, sometimes it's difficult because how my grading system works, without getting into the minutia too far, really great plays, very high, rated play, very negative plays, very negative graded play, and most plays are going to be somewhere in the middle. And when you tabulate Aaron Rodgers through the course of a game, he just doesn't make very many mistakes. He doesn't have very many negatively graded plays. Even some of the ones that he misses, it's tough because he's still completing some of those passes besides the play action play to Davonte Adams. So you end up with a really solid grade at the end of the day because there's no interceptions, there's no interceptable balls, there's no fumbles. He didn't take any sacks in this game. He had a few awry passes, but even a lot of those were caught. And he made a lot of great plays too. And when you have a 4 touchdown, 0 interception performance and manage a perfect, really a perfect game, no major mistakes, you're going to end up with a really good grade. So this was a solid overall game from Aaron Rodgers. I liked his performance. It was certainly a winning performance. And this kind of goes to what Aaron Rodgers is saying is my bad performances are a lot of quarterbacks' really good performances. I know he was talking about in the course of a season, but this is another great example where this was kind of a solid game from Aaron Rodgers. Nothing too sexy, nothing too spectacular. Hit a couple really nice plays down the field, left some yards out on the field, but this is, again, a winning performance for Aaron Rodgers, especially against a team like the Houston Texans. And then number 3 on my highest graded player list this week was Elgton Jenkins. I thought this was his best game of the season. Had a couple really nice blocks that sprung Jamal Williams, but just really solid in pass protection. Really didn't have any trouble with anyone that was across from him all game long. A couple minor, issues here and there, minor mistakes here and there, but just a really solid overall performance from Elgton Jenkins. Without his running mate, David Bakhtiari to the left of him, I thought he really kind of picked up the mantle and just had a really solid, if not, semi-spectacular game where he didn't really have almost any negative plays. So I thought this was, again, his highest graded game of the season. And this is exactly what you want to see out of Elgton Jenkins. I was actually thinking of this the other day. I think Elgton Jenkins right now, and through his first and second year, is very similar to the timeline of Jair Alexander, where Jair in his first year, good, couple hiccups here and there. You saw him maybe have some inconsistencies, but you knew the talent was there. I think that was very similar to Elgton Jenkins his first year. Year 2, more consistency, but still sometimes he took his foot off the gas a little bit, and you just wanted to see him play consistent every single down. I think the same thing with Elgton Jenkins. You've seen him make improvements. He's more consistent, but there's every once in a while he just gets beat, and there's no real reason for it. It's not that the other player's that good. It's just he kind of, again, lets his foot off the brake every now and again. It's pretty few and far between, but you just want it to be consistent down in and down out. You still know he's going to be great. And I think year 3 for Jair, we're seeing kind of that all-pro performance. I think year 3 next year is going to be very similar to Jair Alexander, where Elgton Jenkins puts it all together, and you just get this lockdown left guard, or maybe right tackle, maybe right guard, maybe center. Who the hell knows where Elgton Jenkins is next year, but that versatility plays a huge role as well. My 3 lowest graded players this week, number 1 was Darius Shepherd. Just thought that he really had trouble separating. He kind of got in the doghouse for running the route at the wrong depth early in the game. Rodgers didn't really look his way the rest of the game, but didn't really do a ton. Had a couple of rough run blocking plays. And when you're in there and you're Darius Shepherd, you just got to do all the little things well. I didn't think he did that. It wasn't an egregious grade. It wasn't an awful grade, but was definitely my lowest graded player in this game. Number 2 was MVS. Very similar, just, the play where he gets open. Is it a tough catch on a tough third down where maybe Rodgers threw it a little bit too outside, but it was a catchable ball, have the opportunity to make the catch, convert a first down. He drops the ball. Green Bay has to punt. Just some inconsistencies with his route running, just not getting open consistently enough. Those are the type of things from MVS that we've seen for 2.5 years now. And just something's got to give. You just want to see him take that next step. Just it hasn't fully clicked for him yet. You wanted to see with Allen Lazard out, MVS take that next step. It hasn't happened. There's a lot of season left, and there's still opportunity. And I think ultimately when Allen Lazard comes back as that number 2 wide receiver and MVS reverts to number 3, I think everything just lines up a little bit better. I don't think MVS is a number 2 in the league. He's probably not even a number 3, but he works much better in that role, especially with his ability to stretch the field deep and maybe open some things up underneath for Davonte Adams and Allen Lazard and Jay Sternberger and Tanyan and Jones and Williams and so on and so forth. So there's definitely a role for him, but I don't think it's as the number 2 receiver. And I think Green Bay is definitely going to welcome Allen Lazard back in that number 2 role with open arms. And then number 3 on my list was Sternberger. Did have the touchdown. Didn't think he had a horrible game by any stretch, but just as a blocker, had a few different blocks where he's kind of coming across the line of scrimmage and just missed the cut block completely. Didn't always hold up at the point of attack with his assignment when he was just asked to man up one-on-one against an opposing defender. And that's going to come with time. Again, as Ross Uglum always points out, usually year 3, year 4 for tight ends is when you sort of see that development, especially as a blocker. We're seeing it more out of Robert Tonyan this year. And I think you're going to see that with Sternberger more next year and the following year. But in this game, just didn't hold up as well as I would have liked as a blocker, and he ended up as my 3rd lowest graded player this week. So to recap, Davonte Adams 1, Aaron Rodgers 2, and then Elton Jenkins number 3 on my highest rated players, and then my lowest. Darius Shepard was number 1, MVS was 2, and then Sternberger was number 3. Hoping to be back tomorrow with my defensive grades. If not, I'll pick a different topic and we'll go over defensive grades on Thursday. Try to pump through these as quickly as I can so I can get these out to you. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. I am trying to get to 1,000 followers before I get to 50 episodes. Not trending perfectly in the right direction right now, but tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't, and I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check out these grades on Packer Report later this week. Make sure to check out our podcast, the video, you're watching the video, so you don't have to go check it out on Packer Report, but check out the audio either on Cheesehead TV or wherever you get your favorite podcasts, Spotify, Alexa if you want, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, etc. So wherever you get your favorite podcasts, make sure to do so. I'm going to get out of here. I'm rambling. Thank you as always for listening, and until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.